afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time on a Friday afternoon at Area 58. And it's April 4th. What a warm day it is today, and we have a really great guest today. She's really heating things up from up in Kittery, Maine, a Zoom guest. She's a model, she's an artist, and I'm so delighted she agreed to do my show. But before I get there, I'm going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we have Rose Jewelers in Kingston. They've been great. We have Brian's Auto and Tire Service in Middleborough. We have Equestrians Anonymous right down the road here in Carver. Quality use tack, saddles, equipment, show clothing, essentials, and gifts for the horse, hound, and human. We have Outback Arms in Clinton. We have New England Forescapes in Middleborough. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have the Nemasket Olive Oil Company in Middleborough. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have Plymouth County Power Sports in Middleborough. We have Evan Young Realty, that's my brother, the realtor. We have Madigan Land Surveying in Middleborough. We have Curtis Car Care in Middleborough. We have DNS Auto Works and Equipment Specialists in Abington on Route 58. We have the Berry Guys, Farm Stand Deli and Bakery around the corner here in Carver. And we have OTMC Automotive Services in Middleborough. And I want to thank you guys very much. Now, it's Adriana Grace. What's your last name?
Vanwardhuizen.
Vanwardhuizen. Okay, that's an interesting name. I like it. It sounds like a European fairy tale kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a model, and you sent us some pictures that we're going to edit into the show, and people are going to love that. So what I do with every guest is I try to find out what they were like as kids. You don't look too old. You look like you're about college age or even younger.
I'm 21. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Are you a college student, or were you?
No.
Never went to college?
Nope.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Well, you're up in Kittery, Maine. Did you grow up in Kittery?
No, I grew up in the Black Hills in South Dakota.
Oh wow. Okay, that must have been quite. Remote from the rest of the world, right?
Yeah, it felt pretty secluded from any big city. It's nice to be out here now, where Boston's an hour away and New York 4 to 6.
Well, all right. Well, when you grew up out there, but it's one thing to migrate to a different part of the country, but did you know people that were here already? That's why you came here too? Did that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, my mom's boyfriend works at the shipyard, so we all out here with him.
Oh, okay. How long have you been in Maine for?
Almost 3 years.
All right. So before that, you were out there. All right. Well, what did you aspire to as a child? Did you do any acting, modeling, music, anything like that?
I was more into music and art.
Okay. All right. Well, how were you? Tell me about the music. Did you play? Did you perform? Did you sing? Did you dance?
Yeah, I did. I did dance for 2 years. I also did. I did choir and band, and I take voice lessons now still.
Great. It's like you have a great. By the way, if you want to sing something, feel free. It's up to you.
I'm a little too. I don't think I'm.
All right. No problem. I've had guests that have sung a cappella on my show before. I had one that was great. She was an actress from Rhode Island, about your age, maybe a little older, I guess. And she was on a show almost 10 years ago, and she sang something from The Sound of Music, and it sounded phenomenal. But that's okay. But that's good. You're taking voice lessons now. How long have you been doing that?
About 2 years.
Okay, great. And is it a music school, or is it someone that comes to visit you, or both, or either?
Portsmouth Music and Arts.
Oh, okay. So that's the name of the school?
Yeah.
What is it again?
It's like a music and art kind of.
Right, what's it called?
Oh, Portsmouth Music and Arts.
Oh, is it Portsmouth, New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. You're not too far from you're right near the New Hampshire state line where you were at now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now tell me about the modeling. Now you've been doing this a while, and plus that picture over behind you is you drew yourself, that charcoal painting, right? Move your head for a second. Isn't that nice? It looks like that's fantastic. You're very talented.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been doing that for?
All my life.
Okay. Have you ever sold any artwork to anybody? It looks like you definitely look like you got some sellable stuff there.
I've never sold anything.
You haven't? Well, have you ever tried to did you ever try to bring stuff to a store or something, try to get it sold on consignment and do some kind of an auction or something where you could just walk the streets and they must have outdoor flea markets and stuff. Did you ever try that?
I'm gonna try that this summer.
You should definitely try that.
This is part of like an art book I'm making.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to sell the book. I'm also trying to have an art show.
Oh, yes, exactly. You should.
It's still in the process, I'm trying to contact galleries and stuff.
Well, you know what? I'll go to it if it's, I know it's in Kittery. If you have an outdoor art show on a Saturday and I can do it, maybe I'll come up there and look over some of your merchandise and see if I can get it. And don't be ashamed to charge a whopping price for it either. I mean, it's good. It's very good. You're very talented.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you know what? And even if you don't get it, you can always bargain people down. You can always say, okay, I want 300 for this, but if you want to make me a lower offer, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Start with 300 and let's see if you know what I mean. It's like give them a price it might be a little bit unreasonable, but if they make you say, well, what do you want? What do you think it's worth? And basically go that way. You might, you'd be surprised probably at how well you do getting those sales.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me about the modeling. When did you start that? And how did you find out you were good enough to model? Obviously, you look very nice, but was there an event in your life that made that happen?
Yeah, when I was in high school, like in my senior year, my mom's friend kind of suggested that I should do it, and then I really started considering it.
Okay, yeah. So that must have been a few years ago, right? So you're 21 now.
Yeah.
Okay, and how did you? So what did you do? How did you take that forward? What did you do? Where did you end up going? To an agency?
Yeah, I'm signed to New England Models Group right now.
They're great. That's a great, totally legitimate organization, company. That having been said, have you ever done any acting as well?
I never really did acting until I got signed with this agency. They had me do some acting kind of like for commercial.
There you go.
Audition.
Tell me about those projects. They're fantastic. I know you probably had I went up there too. I got a screen test. You probably had a screen test, right? I know exactly where they are. They're on Commercial Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
They're kind of a crappy neighborhood, but it's still a legitimate agency. It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me about those projects, those acting projects.
Well, I applied to a lot of commercials and stuff, like with self-tape auditions. I didn't get any of them.
Okay.
But so I did a hair show last year.
A hair show. Oh, well, your hair or someone else? Or you showing what your hair looked like with other people? Is that it? Your hair looks great, but is that what you did?
Yeah, I had it around like this length and they cut it really crazy. I sent photos.
But you look good with short hair. A lot of women can't say that. That's fantastic. That's why it's short now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it still looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did this hair show in Boston, and then the other thing I did was kind of random. I was an extra on an Amica commercial. I'm not sure if it's out yet. I haven't seen it yet, but okay. I was fisherman.
Oh, okay. Oh, you played a guy.
No, I played a girl. I was just.
Oh, you said fisherman. They know how they don't actually say fisherwoman. I guess everybody that fishes is a fisherman, and male or female.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm a vegan, so I don't fish at all anyway. But did you actually fish, or did you just pretend to?
They had us like standing together. The other people were really fishermen. I was the only one who wasn't.
You weren't fishing. I'm proud of you for that. As a vegan, I definitely concur. I prefer not fishing, but that's me. I know it's a very popular sport, although I don't really consider it a sport. But okay, that's a show for another day. All right. Well, so any other commercials? How about like acting in plays or films or anything like that, or music videos?
I've been an extra in like a student film, kind of like student films and like music videos as well. Just
okay. The student film, would that happen to have been at Emerson College in Boston?
That was for my friend in Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine. Okay. All right. What? At the college up there?
Yeah.
Okay. And that must have been awesome. Okay. Yeah. I mean, here I am sitting, we're talking, and you're very pretty, you're very smart. And I can tell you this, as the more multifaceted you are, and I tell this to a lot of my guests, to every guest that does stuff like you're doing, the more projects you get under your belt, the more things you have on your resume, the more doors will open for you. So, have you ever created a resume for yourself for acting? Have you ever gone to one of the casting companies like Boston Casting?
Yeah, I've tried to make one. I'm just very like not experienced yet, so
Well, maybe not, well, right, but I don't. We come into this world with no experience. We have to. Every experience we have has to happen after we have none. So, and already you have experience because like you said, you've already been in a couple of commercials.
yeah.
Have you ever written anything like poetry, journalism, anything like that?
No, I used to be really big into writing when I was little.
Okay.
But I don't really do it anymore.
Well, you might want to look into doing that too, because what did you write? What did you write when you were little?
I would write these fictional stories with my friends. Like we would all create these characters, and then we on a shared Google Doc, and we just write like a story.
It's hard to believe that you're so young that Google, that even when you were a child, Google Docs were already involved. Whereas when I was a child, there was no such. That was totally science fiction.
Yeah.
I'm a 20th century dude. You were obviously not. You weren't even around in the 20th century.
No.
Right? So, okay. All right. That's fascinating. Well, so what about the idea of, what might be kind of cool is to go back to doing that, write something and then act it out and make like a film out of it.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic. And then once you post that stuff on YouTube, it could go viral. And that would open more doors for you for modeling and acting. All right. Well, as far as modeling, what are you doing now? What are you currently doing for modeling?
Well, I'm gonna do some like a volunteer runway.
Okay.
For like some mass art students.
Oh, great. So you're gonna come to Boston, I guess, to do that, right?
Yeah.
My father actually has an affiliation with Mass Art, or he did. I don't know. I think he might. He's one of the board members of the finance committee of keeping it floating, because I think it's not, well, I don't know if it's non-profit, but I think they're always looking for donations from the public, and I think he helps get them. So that's definitely a good cause. Have you ever been to the Mass School of Art? It's a very nice place on the west end of Boston.
Yeah, I went in there for like the casting call for the thing. I was a bit confused trying to find my way in there, but
I know it's big. It's a big building. You can end up getting. I did a model show there once. For my show, I went there one night way back in 2012. Actually, it was 2014. But I was in there, and I went in there, and I used to go on the road, take my show on the road before Zoom and everything. And I'm not really a tech, but I had to rent the equipment, and then I'd set it up. And then I'd interview people, and then we go back to the TV station and edit. It's much better this way when other people edit it for me, and I can just do it like this, like we're doing. But I did meet some pretty cool people doing that, and it was a good experience to get me to the point where I'm at now. All right, so you're going to be doing that. So the pictures that you sent, are those like print modeling shots you've done?
Yeah, it's some modeling and some of my art.
Oh, some of your art. Okay. As far as your art is concerned, you still paint regularly or often?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, have you ever gone to art school?
No.
Yeah. All right. Wow. That's phenomenal that you can actually create. Now, although that picture behind you and those other ones, you just did it totally from scratch. You didn't it's no painting by numbers or anything like that, right? Obviously. No,
this one had a photo reference.
Okay. It's
from my 7th birthday. I made it around my 21st birthday because I don't know, but.
All right. But most of the stuff you do, like you ever do like, what do you call those things? Not calligraphies. Caricatures. People like, could you, like, if you saw somebody, could you draw a resemblance of them, a resembling pic of them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A replica, I should say. Yeah. Okay. So that's important, being able to do that, because you could probably, you could make money doing that too. If you had a show, you might sit at a table and say, hey, if you want to be drawn, come over here for $10, I'll draw you. And those works can end up being in somebody's archives 1,000 years from now. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so I'm thinking you might want to do that, go back to your modeling. Now, do you have a regular job too?
Yeah, I work at like a Hawaiian restaurant.
Okay, you a waitress?
It's kind of like it's kind of like more grab and go there. So I like make the bowl like it's poke bowls.
Okay, yeah, you look like you'd be, in a way, now that you mention it, if you had a wreath around your neck and some hula in your hair, you look like a Hawaiian girl. I can see that. You're not very dark, but you have those, you sort of have the eyes, you have the deep set eyes that make you look kind of Polynesian.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure. How long you been working there for?
Since August.
Okay, so almost a year. Well,
Yeah.
this is April now. Okay, that's great. All right. So, and you're not college educated. You never went to college, right?
No.
Okay, and there's always time for that anyway, if you want there to be. So when do you set aside time for your modeling? When do you get to do that?
Um, I've been more focused on my art the past few months, so I haven't really
Oh,
gotten
really? Okay.
this runway kind of me getting back into it, this mass art.
Okay.
But my boyfriend is a really great photographer. He went to Parsons in New York,
Okay.
and he photographed all of my art for the art book, and a lot of the photos I sent were photographed by him of me.
Great. Okay. That's fantastic. So, well, does he take pictures for you for modeling as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. You already have your own photography. You don't have to hire anybody.
Yeah.
That's great because a lot of photographers not only do they charge, some of them charge exorbitant amounts of money. Some of them some of them are a little uncouth too. So I hear. I've never had the opportunity to model looking like I do, but from what I understand, some women have some pretty sick stuff to say about some of the photographers they've worked with. Unfortunately, you don't have that problem, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. What about fashion modeling? Now that dress you're wearing there, that looks very nice. You didn't happen to design it, did you?
Thank you. No, I just bought it online.
Yeah, it looks great. It's a blouse. It's not really a dress, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever designed clothes before?
No, I used to sew a little bit. I try to get into sewing. It's really hard.
It is. Okay. Yeah, and plus you end up pricking your finger and bleeding. That wouldn't be good either.
Yeah.
I think there'd be machines that would make that less likely now. Okay. All right. So, what does your schedule look like now? So you paint like every day, practically, or as much as you can every week?
Yeah, like a few times a week I draw or paint.
Okay. You ever do any sculpting?
No, I'm not really into sculpting.
None of the sculpting. Okay. All right. What about the idea of maybe teaching art somewhere?
I've considered it. I applied for a summer job actually for like teaching kids art, but I'm not sure if I get it or not. But
Well, don't sell yourself short. I mean, you can't teach what other people. If somebody doesn't have talent, they don't have talent. So when I was a kid, I was always wishing I had art talent. So I took art lessons at our local museum that we have in Brockton, Mass, where I live. And the guy that taught it was very talented too. He was a guy that he would come over to our elementary schools and teach us art. And then I wanted to take an art class directly from him. And I saw I had no talent at all. But if you have talent and you show what you can do, then it would probably rub off on people that have talent. If they have talent, then they can pick up what you're doing. If they don't, then they probably won't be able to. But if you have a technique that you can demonstrate, then it would probably be very beneficial.
yeah,
Right. So you never actually sold the work of art, though, right?
no,
Okay, you never tried to?
no,
Okay, well, that's what you really might want to do. Just go.
Yeah.
You have an idea. I mean, you bring it to the Boston School. You say you're doing a runway show at Mass Art in Boston, right?
yeah,
So when you do that, come down and bring some of your artwork too. See if they'll buy it. You know, did you ever think of? I mean, were you planning on doing that or not?
yeah. I mean, I'm trying to make like a book, so maybe I could bring the book if I get it.
Bring the book, but also, I mean, you want to bring. I mean, if you want, and the book is great, but if you have something that can hang on the wall, like you got behind you there, if you have a bunch of stuff you can put in your car or whatever as a back seat, or or a trunk, you never know. You might get your name in the door as a great artist. It sounds to me like there's a great artist inside that's longing to get out and bless the world with her talent.
Yeah,
You just have to figure out the way to do it. You got all kinds of opportunities here for this.
yeah,
Dealing with all these people. you know? All right, you said you've been doing this since you were a child, you said, right?
Yeah.
You probably still have pictures that your parents have probably hung on the wall that she drew when you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's right. That, it'll always be an inspiration to you. And on that note, we're on the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do in the remaining time. I want you to give some shouts out to people that are gonna see the show. You know, your family, your boyfriend, I guess, and then we'll wrap the show up with my snap and the way we began it. So go ahead.
All right. So shout out like people that I think will see it.
Yeah.
My mom, my brother, my aunts,
Okay,
my boyfriend.
okay, all right. Your friends, maybe friends, well, you don't go to school, but maybe friends at your restaurant that you work at, if you, people in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I've got some friends that'll probably see it too.
When you relocated to Maine, did you, I assume, I mean, your father came out here because he had business out here, is that right? Is that the reason he came to New England?
Yeah, like my stepdad, yeah.
Or stepdad, okay. But have you, I mean, I assume you probably made some new friends since you moved here, right? Those are the people that are gonna see the show. All right, and now, when is that event at Mass Art? When is that scheduled for?
I think it's on the 17th.
Of what, April?
Yeah.
All right, so it's 2 weeks from yesterday. Yesterday was the 3rd. That'll be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else coming up on the horizon that you want to mention? I want to make sure we cover everything, but if not, that's fine. But I ask every guest that question when we wrap the show up.
I'm not sure. I don't think I have anything else really with a set date.
I understand. Okay. All right. Well, if you had a good time with me, what I want you to do is if you know anybody that might be a good guest for my show, you have my digits, have them contact me, text or call, either one. I'd love to have them on. We can do the show in person. I always prefer the in-person interview, but obviously Zoom works just as well. And we'll get them on. And I always appreciate people that I have on my show to get me new guests. Okay?
All right.
All right. You did a wonderful job with me. Now I have one favor to ask. When we wrap the show up, you stick around in my tech guy. I'll take a pic for Facebook and I'll tag you in it.
Okay.
You can tag me as well. Okay. All right, folks. We're wrapping up another Friday show. I'm going home the rest after this, and then we'll be back in a couple of weeks with a new show for Area 58. So, rolling off and snapping out.